Instagram and YouTube, we see a lot of relationship gurus. For some reason, are men trying to talk from a woman's point of view. So why do you think that men are trying to talk relationship, and most of those men that are talking relationships have failed
And they're single.
relationships,
Yeah, they're
or
single.
like
Was
I
it
think it's
Kevin
like
Samuels?
Kevin Samuel and this guy named Jax.
Okay.
He was a relationship.
He's not
guru.
married?
He is married
Okay.
and was busted cheating,
Oh,
but he was a relationship guru. You know.
Yeah.
So what is it you think that's why are men tend to be in that space when it comes to social media to discuss relationship for women? And why don't they have a successful relationship?
Right. But
Well, it goes back to
we'd love to hear your
It goes
opinion.
back to that old adage that you can't trust a skinny chef.
I like
A
that.
skinny
Or a
chef.
doctor who smokes with high blood pressure.
Yeah. So if someone's relationship is on the rocks all the time, you got to question what that is. But
That's right.
I think the reason that space is being occupied is because men need help. Let's face it, men are clueless in many respects. They have a fundamental sense of, okay, let me flatter this woman, let me say nice things to her, that'll make her feel good. But they generally, in my opinion, I've seen a lack of sensitivity in what I might just call the social intelligence aspect. When you say something to a woman that clearly offends or insults her, but you're clueless that you've done it, that's damaging. So I think all these gurus that are coming out of the woodwork, to your point, they are basically capitalizing on the fact that most men are sitting there going, what do I say? How do I?
However, their audience are mostly women.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and they are listening.
And
These
they are
women are
listening.
putting value in what he has to say.
Mhm.
And that's
So
interesting.
you think it's just that women don't really understand men? Do you think there is a big divide between a woman and a man? Are we just so different? Are we really from Venus and Mars?
Yeah, we remember John Gray's book on the subject.
Uh-huh.
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Right. And that's true.
And to some degree, I think women, to me, are feelers. They are empathetic.
Mhm.
And men tend to be a little bit different than that.
So
They don't always put themselves in the person's position or in their place. And that's what detracts from I guess, the intimacy that a woman is looking for.
Right.
But I've always had my standard, and I just did this the other day. My friend had a big birthday party. I give people my 1-minute marriage talk.
Okay.
And it's
Lord.
60 seconds.
Okay.
And it sums it up. And all of you guys watching right now, I'm telling you, 60
Y'all better
seconds. Here we
listen
go.
up.
Turn your stopwatch on.
Okay,
So the woman has a need and the man has a need. A woman needs to feel loved. When she feels loved, she feels secure, she feels comfortable in her own skin, she feels like she wants to give to the man. The man, because he's an ego-based creature, wants to be respected. Oh, you're not respecting me? Oh, and then they start getting all sideways.
Yeah.
Well, if it's the woman's fault, she disrespects the man and he holds back love. If it's the man's fault, he's being unloving to the woman and then she disrespects him. So my thing is simple. Define what you need to feel loved and what he needs to feel respected. If we meet those two central tenets, everything else is going to fall in place.
So let's talk about
time's
you.
up.
Very good. And you had 10 seconds to spare.
In the Bible, it talks about, a wife and a man. A husband needs to love his wife, and a wife needs to respect her husband.
Right.
So what is most important? What do you think is most important? Having love or respect? If you had to say, okay, which one?
I
That's a
choose
great-
respect first. As a person, I would choose respect first because if you're respected, then your self-love is going to be there. But if you're not, in my opinion, I need to feel respected. I need my feelings to be respected, in my opinion.
So then the question really, because it's a great question, the question then, I would choose love.
Yeah.
And I say that because if I'm your spouse and I'm being loving to you, am I not being already
What
respectful?
if you're cheating? You're acting loving.
Well, no, loving is
There
only
are a lot of men who act
competent.
very loving to
No.
their wives, but they're not respecting them
cheating.
because they're cheating.
Well, that's disingenuous. I'm talking about a genuine love, like
Okay.
if we're talking about, like you mentioned, the
But
biblical
then they should be
principle.
synonymous then.
Well, they're not, because respect to me is where you basically give somebody their due respect.
Uh-huh.
You give them their props. You're not going to say something crazy to them. Loving is when I think about warming your tea for you.
So
And
isn't that kind of respecting too?
It is respect. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what I'm saying. So if you
But
love
you
somebody,
you can't not have it.
you
like
can
those
love somebody but
arranged-
not respect them. How?
Yeah, those arranged marriages. You respect,
Oh,
and initially there's
Ew.
no love, but there is respect. I don't think anything's wrong with them because you can grow to love someone. But if you have a foundation of respect, I won't do anything disrespectful to you.
interesting. I
Yeah,
can
no, but
see that.
I just think love has a greater value. And really, if you look at the different kinds of love biblically, because what I just quoted wasn't me. It's Galatians chapter 7, verse
Come on,
21.
man, he's
Right.
everywhere.
See,
Yeah.
That's
So-
a Renaissance man
yeah,
right
But
there.
but but if you
I
but
like
if you
it.
but
Yeah,
if you
and I told everybody.
but if we think about it, we have the different aspects of love, right? And this is
Right.
something we all should be thinking
That's
about.
true.
We've got agape. It's a principled love.
Right.
It's like a brotherly love.
Right.
Philia, that's like a brotherly love. You have a principled love for somebody. And then, you have the other extreme, which is Eros.
Okay.
That's erotic love.
Yeah.
That's the
That's your
sexual
favorite
love.
one.
Damn skimpy.
So tell me that this is what I want to know. What is you as a person? What is your attraction? How would a woman get you?
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
To
And
me,
then on the flip side, what would you tell your daughter when looking for a man?
oh, see, that's a great
All right,
comment.
well,
That's
you
a-
answer
Is that
mine
the
first.
same-
Well-
is that
Because
the
I
same
want these women
conversation?
to understand
But is
how
that
to
the
get
same?
you.
But honestly,
All
is
right,
that
well-
the same conversation of what a man needs to tell his daughter?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you answer
Yeah,
my
well,
question?
I really like the idea of a woman. What's a woman attractive to me is multidimensional.
Okay.
But if I had to choose a personality trait,
Okay.
because I'm attracted to the physical beauty,
Yes.
and I'm not even going to be hypocritical
Yeah.
about
Oh,
that.
we can look
If-
at your
if-
Facebook page.
Well, damn
Yeah.
skimpy. No, look, but my thing is,
I ain't mad at
if somebody
you.
weighs
Right.
if somebody
And you saw his
weighs
kids,
a
you
certain
would
amount,
know.
they're probably not going to be a good salsa partner for
Okay,
me, and I
yes,
want
you
somebody
need
who's a
salsa.
dancer. But my most important trait, if I had to really isolate it, and what I would say to my daughter regarding the same thing.
After you finish answering my question.
Well, no, it's the same. It's the same answer.
Hopefully, it's the same.
Oh,
but
yeah.
If it's not, it's a little.
Yeah, it's a
Interesting.
little duplicitous.
Duplicitous,
Right.
yeah.
If it's not.
Okay.
So I would say that the number one thing is somebody who's self-actualized,
Yeah.
someone who's
Very
self-aware.
Very
Because now I'm not banging traffic and I'm not yelling at you because the laundry's not done and I'm not irrational because the kids spilled milk.
Yes.
I'm calm. I'm zen. I'm understanding your limitations. I'm understanding situational awareness where, hey, sweetie, I know we're running a little bit late. Can we just try to speed it up a little bit because we don't want to miss the cake cutting? Whatever, but not, why are you still putting on your makeup? It's really.
So have you ever been in
That's
a
the
relation like that
disrespect.
kind of drove you crazy?
Oh yeah, that they go 0 to 60.
Yeah.
See, I've had, and that's
Okay.
been failed relationships
Okay.
because there is a hard stop for me.
Okay.
So if somebody starts going like ape shit on me,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna stop it.
I can see that.
I'm gonna
I can
absolutely
believe
stop.
that.
Yeah, but and at the same time, the person that you are on the inside, that's what you're going to attract. So
Uh-huh.
even if that person is, extreme, there's something that brought you together. Even if it's a lesson that you needed to learn,
Mhm.
there's always a reason why people are around you.
So do you prefer opposites or someone who's more like you?
I heard something that resonated with me where they said that this idea that opposites attract is actually an illusion.
Okay.
I agree.
It's an initial compelling force,
Uh-huh.
but then you want somebody that's more like you
Right.
than not like you.
Okay.
Now to me, I don't equate that to race per se.
No, right.
I've had people that are like me that are completely different races and nationalities because I like that too.
Yeah, you do like an
And-
exotic woman. Yeah, I like that about you.
Yeah, well,
You
thank
don't,
you.
yeah, you do not discriminate. I think that's cool.
I'm just not into just
I
vanilla.
like that.
But so
Mostly.
So for our viewers, because I agree with you that I think opposite isn't always the best because you grow apart. Because if we're not some of the same things, some of the same similarities, we're going to do different things. However, you still need to have your independence in a
Yeah.
relationship.
And on the other side of
and,
that,
and,
Yeah,
and being
not somebody's around you all the time.
respectful.
Exactly.
Because
Right.
like if you're a vegetarian and I'm a carnivore, then I want to go to Fogo de
Right,
Chao and eat
right,
as much
all day
beef
long.
as I could eat. And
Right.
they're like,
Have a
hey,
salad bar.
yeah, there you go. But the respectful thing is, let's go to Fogo de Chao this week and let's go to
Yeah.
Vietopia next week.
There
you
you
know?
go.
And
There
now
you go.
we can have that. So
That's good.
so that's part of really being loving. and
That's very
understanding.
good. I like that. Yeah.
So do you think that, like, if you were once again talking to your daughter, when she meets someone, do you think that they give a facade of who they are for that first 3 months, or do you think how long do you think it's before you really can get to know the true person?
You hit it right on the head. 2 to 3 months is a realistic time frame because the representative is still out there. My daughter brought a kid home. I mean, this kid was beautiful. I call him a kid,
He's
young
good
man.
looking.
Oh my God, he was so handsome. I was
She
like,
gets
wow.
that from
Well, no, I mean, and then he came in and he was half Spanish and he's like, hola, señor, mucho gusto. I'm like, aguamente, hombre, ¿cómo estás?
I love that.
Now all of a sudden he's like, oh, puedo hablar español también? Sí, yo puedo hablar un poquito.
Look at that. You
And then-
never lost your Spanish.
and
I
then
love
this, and then he starts trying to impress me with all this stuff.
it.
But then he lost his cookies for a minute because I decided that because I saw he was alpha,
Right.
I pretended I was beta,
Oh,
and I'm not beta.
right.
But
Not-
I pretended
right, long
I was
shot.
beta, and he started getting more aggressive, and I was like, I was acting like, ooh, wow, that's impressive. Tell me more. And then he stepped outside for a minute. He walks back in after he stepped
And you
outside.
went all alpha on his
Well,
ass.
no, I was about to because
Okay.
he said something that was unbelievable. He says, yo, you know what a cougar is? And I said, oh, what's a cougar? Yo, I'm acting all
Explain it,
innocent.
right.
And he goes, these chicks that go after younger men. I said, because, man, my boy was talking about this cougar. He just told me he hit that cougar,
He
man.
just met you and he's having this
Oh,
conversation?
my gosh. He literally thought I was going to just jump into his locker room talk with him.
Wow.
And right at that moment, my daughter winced like, oh, my God.
Okay,
and
that's cool.
I took a deep breath, and I was about to kick the
No, you
living
were.
shit out of
I
this
know
dude.
you were.
And right at that moment, his phone rang again, and he's like, "Okay, Mom. Okay, no, I'll come right now. Okay,
So
okay."
he was talking
So he
a
was
lot
a
of
mama's
mess with
boy,
you,
and
yeah.
So what did your daughter learn from that?
She realized that this guy was really not what he seemed because he was putting on a front
was
for
fluff.
her.
Yeah.
And when he thought that I was just going to be like some kind of beta, wussy kind of dad that would, just because he's
Let him
handsome,
say that stuff.
I pretended for a few minutes, and then I was really going to kick the mess out of him. And so she learned. She's like, Dad, you that was so embarrassing. Thank goodness you didn't have to say anything else. And she was all frazzled or whatever. So
do you think she will probably choose a man more like you?
I think she's going to be a woman with cats because there's no one
Oh,
like me.
I know. You know what? I'm sorry for
That's
her.
not what-
I'm sorry for her. All she has to do is bring somebody who's malleable, and you can work on.
I
it.
can
How
work
about
on
that?
it.
That's what she could do.
Yeah, she's still looking, but I'm hoping she finds someone that's sensitive, intelligent. My older daughter found a perfect man. I mean,
Really?
perfect man. I love that. I
Wow.
love that young man.
Are they married?
They've been married for 16
Oh,
years.
shit.
They are.
Good job.
So do you think that in today's society, as far as meeting people, because back in the day you would go out, you could meet someone, maybe it's at a club or in some kind of social setting, but now a lot of things are moved to online, which I don't think anything is wrong
Right.
with that. My mother, she's like, oh, you might meet a serial killer. I was like, yeah, you can meet him at the bar.
Yeah, you could be a
There you
serial
go.
killer
You can
next
meet-
door.
Yeah, you can
Yes,
meet him
sir.
next
Absolutely.
door.
I know
Do you
several
think it's
people
more
who are
difficult?
married from online.
Yeah. Do you think it's difficult now to connect with someone? Because in a sense, though, online, it's like you might meet someone and then they can still swipe and meet somebody else. It's
Right,
almost like
right.
you get to continuously date
Correct.
online more so than
It's almost an
What
interview
I
situation.
miss about
Or it's just
what I
a
miss
lot.
about the old
a harem.
fashioned right. I mean, what I miss about the old fashioned way
Mhm.
is that we're in each other's space. I can
Right.
feel you energetically.
Yes, of
Right.
course.
I mean, if I were at a club and I walked up and I saw Kiva's beautiful eyes, and I'm like, "Hi, how are you?"
Look at
Look
that.
at her
That's
platinum eyes.
that.
But that's the first thing. So now we
Right.
start talking. We establish some connection.
And then you hope when the lights come on,
Yeah, it's
that
still-
foundation.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, we gotta take a quick
Okay.
break.
That's right.
But we gotta get deeper into it.
Sure.
Maybe a little more